Find a Saxon boom. Could you show us the magic? Could you give us a little taste?
Here it is.
Welcome back to another Slapdash and the Flash, where we like to look into race relations around the world and see if we can help. And for today's ethnic groups, we have the black man versus the white man.
Whites versus blacks, it's on!
So cast your votes now. Just joking, guys. What are you, racist? No. The title of this video is actually referring to the film's production company made by Jack Black and Mike White, releasing hit films such as Nacho Libre and others like The Year of the Dog.
Even retarded crippled people get married.
And, that's about it. The company dissolved in a year? Rahid has just informed me that the company no longer exists and has gone underground. So, adios. Anyways, both of these people had content come out, and I'm here to offer my thoughts on both of them. First up on the docket is White Lotus, a show solely directed, written, and produced by one man, Mike White. An anthology series featuring a group of characters that the audience is forced to be with for precisely 1 week, and always resulting in one or more of the guests' untimely deaths at the global luxury resort hotel chain, the White Lotus. This season taking place largely in Thailand, with a huge array of characters like Walton Goggins playing Rick.
Please stop talking.
Listen, you may be wondering what makes me, Flash, a complete buffoon, certified to talk about White Lotus, one of HBO's flagship series. And it's actually quite simple. I've seen the last 2 seasons. While I did think highly of S2, I wouldn't have considered it must-watch television. However, after the conclusion of this season, I kinda do. And surprisingly, not just because of the Gogs, or even Chelsea. While his character's quest for finding inner peace was interesting, the incest plotline was the real MVP of this season. Saxon is just the breadwinner here. Come to think of it, I don't think there's ever been a more literally me character. Am I right, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong, and comment below if you've ever given a helping hand to your bro or little sis. Just like Saxon, I came to find his character the most compelling, and felt that he was one of the few characters that got a happy ending. Fully satisfied. Okay, a good old-fashioned resolution. Sure, I do appreciate what they did with the other characters like Gatok, the security guard pining to be something more, struggling to find his ambition, or Rick's own personal struggle of not only finding his inner peace, but more importantly, accepting it. They were all important in terms of getting the season's themes to connect and thrive together. But Saxon became the only character to make that change effectively, and seeming to continue and try and change, disavowing his previous hedonistic lifestyle, with his highest ambitions being accumulating wealth and sexual desire.
Because you're soulless. Sad.
Yes, if you're an idiot, you could argue he won't change, and him picking up the spiritual books were just a part of a rash decision in an attempt to sidestep the massive mistake he made with his brother. But I don't know. The look on his face watching Chelsea and Rick reuniting was a sign, for me at least, that it would be more concrete. Although I have seen the take that it could be more read as his realization of what true love was, and that he has that with his brother, which, if that's the intention by Mike White, kick ass. Very bold. And speaking of bold, let's talk about Belinda and the betrayal of her own moral compass for a measly sum of $5 million. A fantastic conclusion for her character, who I've always disliked and perceived as too self-righteous. The cope of that decision from the actress herself has been absolutely hilarious, justifying the obvious parallels with Tanya on technicalities. And look, Tanya did agree to go into business with Belinda, but let's not pretend she wasn't also in the middle of a midlife crisis, with the only connection between the two being massage sessions. Pornchai and Belinda, on the other hand, had a sexual relationship. And that doesn't mean she owes him anything, but there is definitely a more intimate connection there. What I'm saying is Belinda doesn't owe him anything, and Tanya doesn't owe her anything either. But at least Tanya left her an envelope full of cash. Also, again, these people only knew each other for a week at most. And even more so when you factor in how she thinks her character will come back, hiding out in another White Lotus when she's on the run. And how can I forget to mention Greg?
It's scary.
who I absolutely hated at the beginning of this season, but slowly came to enjoy by the conclusion. John Grise here expertly conveys a much more morally complex character with flashes of humor spread throughout. A king in a cuck's chair.
I am a cock, I am a leotard.
Beautiful, great, fantastic. Too many people were absolutely filtered by this season. Wah, it's too slow. Wah, the opening music stinks. Wah, incest is bad. Yeah, the whole point of the show is to vibe with these characters and their decisions. That is the plot.
You know, it's like, enjoy the edging. Like, if you don't want to be edged, get out of my bed.
Drama, relaxation, breathing.
Don't be a bossy bottom.
However, this is what brings me to my only real issue with the season. Originally, the season finale was conceived to be 2 hours, and in reality was still the longest episode by 30 minutes, clocking in at an hour and a half. But I really wish it just had 10 more minutes for breathing and resolution. Like I said previously, Saxon was the only character to get what I deem a satisfying conclusion on his arc, having his aha moment for himself as well as the audience, me. All of the characters had their respective arcs completed, but I think they would have sat better with a lengthier running time. And that's not to say that the finales for all these characters wasn't bad. I actually really appreciated all of them narratively. I thought they fit pretty well with what their story was going with in terms of the actual season and the character. I just think each of them deserved a little more time. But never forget, the audience is always retarded, and I'm part of the audience. And speaking of mentally disabled audiences, I also saw Minecraft.
I am Chicken Jockey.
Yep, so a Minecraft movie was the other piece of art I've seen. And guess what? It sucked ass. Never has there been a worse movie than a Minecraft movie. If you could even call it a movie, more like a monumentous POS. Garbage, trash can heap of poop and fart. A complete and utter waste. No, I'm just joking. It's not that bad. I somewhat enjoyed it. What gives me the right to talk about Minecraft? Have I played Minecraft before? Yeah, I did when I was 11 and once last year. So you can say I'm a fan. And when walking into this movie, I was anticipating being annoyed and bored. But surprisingly, I left with a feeling of only mild irritation and light amusement. Because it's a harmless movie by all accounts that tells the story of 5 people who Minecraft. And look, I'm not here to rehash the story a billionth time. Yes, there is no new ground that has been broken. It's nothing spectacular. But similar to The White Lotus, I enjoyed the vibes and some of the humor aspects. Most of the jokes did fall flat for me, but the atmosphere and the general style of deadpan, sarcastic delivery worked. With the movie taking the plot seriously, almost too seriously, never directly winking at the audience, but acknowledging its own silliness with acceptance. Sure, there were allegedly 28 writers that worked on the script, but somehow it managed to feel like a singular Jared Hess movie. And I know I may be in the minority, or with the majority of idiots, when I say this, but I actually liked Jason Momoa. His performance alone helped me not to hate Jack the Hack Black that much, recontextualizing his performance in a positive light, for the first time in a long time, portraying a bromance correctly. Those pathetic aspects of the character helped to enhance the emotional beats. And look, again, I know the story isn't breaking any new ground. Don't worry, that ground is as stiff as a board and has been endlessly accused of being a lifeless studio film. But I don't know, I found a genuine sense of honesty oozing through that lifeless corporate husk, more than most of those child films that have been released in the last few years. It almost harkens back to that same type of tone Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs had. A completed film with a dash of annoying tendencies throughout, asking kids to not only be creative online, but also outside, to touch grass. Which, now that I think about it, of course, that's going to upset Twitter and the online community. But from what I'm learning, it's actually been successful with its simplistic messaging, as the generation that doesn't go to the movies is going to the movies. Sure to be outlandishly annoying and cause havoc. But they are going. Oh, and by the way, the whole moral grandstanding about the chicken jockey meme is absolutely pathetic.
But what about the wages? They shouldn't have to put up with this.
Why not? I did. Back in my day, the biggest trend wasn't bringing a live chicken to the theater, but live rounds. From a gun.
This is an ABC News special report.
Lone gunman opens fire in a theater.
In all seriousness, it's a net positive and allows Warner Bros. To exist just a little longer. Come on, guys. Let the current generation take the lead. It is their God-given rights and their namesake.
And I, for one, welcome our new insect overlords.
Well, it looks like this is the end of the video, which begs the question, who won? Well, for me at least, the white man did. The white man always wins. So give it up for the white man. The black man is just yesterday's news, if you ask me. But let me know what you think. Who won? Who next? Who decide?
The best and the best.